Hi, Dr. Chris Dougherty here. Now we're going to go over my under-over technique for meniscal repair. This is a lateral meniscus. We're utilizing the Novostitch Plus. Here we're trying to avoid the popliteal tendon at the popliteal hiatus. Here we can actually get a good reach underneath the meniscus, and you'll see on this first pass we can get all the way around the meniscus so that we can come back in, make our more central pass, and then not have to worry about not getting good capture on the meniscus. So now we're more posterior from that previous site. We're posterior to the popliteal hiatus, and here we got a very wide meniscus. I put the upper and lower jaw over and recognized that I was not going to be able to make that meniscal capsular pass. So here I've reached underneath the meniscus, the under part, and I'm going to make the second pass on top of the meniscus, or the over part if you will, and then I'll go ahead and retrieve that posterior limb. I've tried doing it the other way and I've not met with much success. This is just easier for me to remember in terms of what suture I need to grasp once I've passed it. I utilize this technique quite a bit on larger bucket handle tears and on meniscal transplants. So here I'm reaching over the meniscus with my suture retriever and grasping that upper limb, and then I'll simply shuttle it out. I'll go ahead and do standard suture sorting and make sure I've grasped both limbs through the same portal and tie. Here I've gone ahead and passed another stitch. I'm grasping the under limb and pulling it over so that I can go ahead and tie this again. But if I make multiple passes like this, then I'll close off my meniscal access. So here you can see a little loop that I've created, and this is just simple suture sorting. You just want to make sure that you're not completely tangled before you go ahead and tie your knots. But again, if I pass all my sutures, I'll close off that posterior horn when I really could use another suture. So what I'll do is I'll pass a suture, retrieve it, and then I'll make an accessory portal. So here I'm bringing in a spinal needle to make a far lateral portal. We're visualizing immediately this is a lateral meniscus, and I'll go ahead and retrieve those sutures and shuttle them out that portal. This is very useful, especially in meniscal transplants. So now that I've got this shuttled out an accessory portal, I can pass another stitch more posterior towards the root, so you can see we're on the underside, and you can see our needle come through, passing our suture. We'll retrieve this back underneath the meniscus, pass our second suture, and then reach back over and pull our first limb back over the top of the meniscus. Then we'll go ahead and tie these so that we can get our anatomic repair of our meniscus. This works for both medial and lateral meniscal tears. In this case, you can see I do have to fight with the suture a little bit, but you want to make sure that you don't get that tangled. If you do, it's just a matter of simple suture sorting, but it's easier if you can avoid tangling it the first time. So now I've got a good pass and a good grasp. I'll pass a second pass and retrieve, and I might be a little close to my previous pass there, but we'll see that we actually have good apposition of the meniscus and we didn't cut our sutures. And yes, I do on occasion cut a suture when I'm passing, but I still find this a far better technique, utilizing an all-inside suture than utilizing meniscal fixators that can get buried in the meniscus and or not get good purchase. So here we're looking underneath. We can see we've got excellent approximation of our lateral meniscus tear back to our capsule, utilizing an under-over technique with a Novostitch Plus.